Exactly 2 years from now, we will be inundated with the fever of a brand new elections. But of course, before then, there's always going to be the drama, the permutations, the defections, the betrayals, the backstabbing that would happen just before then. And it looks like it's already happening. Yes. So many persons are beginning to, defect from one political party to another. Some are realigning with old foes. Some are aligning with new foes, and some others are, planning to usurp some others. I mean, what don't we know about politics in Nigeria? It's just a potpourri of everything. Betrayal, scandals, defections, and a whole lot of things happened during election period. And I dare say also, but by May next year, every political parties that will participate in the 2027 elections would have known its flag bearers. So whatever happens between now and then, it's going to be just so dramatic. But we have with us live in the studio this morning to talk about these and even more, His Royal Majesty Igwe Chinedu Nwobodo, the traditional ruler. Good to have you. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, Charles. Good morning, viewers.
So it's, you would say the period of defections. I mean, in football, they call it the transfer window is open. So people move from one place to another at will. So, but then again, we want to talk about it from the premise of our democratic values. So many persons have said, look, our democracy isn't ideological. Our political parties don't have anything to hold on to when it comes to ideology. That's why these defections happen every now and then. And one would wonder, to what extent do you think that these defections or uncontrolled defections affect our democracy?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Charles. And once again, good morning, viewers. This defection has a whole lot of impact on our democracy. What of course is defection? It's an abandonment of allegiance, loyalty, or belief in one political party, then joining another political party. Now one begins to wonder, how was our political parties formed? Was the formation ideologically based? Taking a cue from United States of America, looking at the two most popular political parties, the Democrats and Republicans, you see that they are controlled by ideologies. A few minutes ago, I overheard you discussing climate change. And you see that Trump, even earlier than now, never believed in that climate change. And he's insisting on it. That is his ideology. And a whole lot of persons thinking like him stayed with him until he is back to the White House 4 years later, after he was won in the 2016 election. So, but when you come to Nigeria, by my assessment, our parties, of course, we have not had a steady party. It's one name there, people coming and going. And you begin to think that what the basis for forming our political parties is personal, selfish anticipation of what you think you get from one window. To me, like in Nigeria today, we have only one bank because of e-banking, ATM. You can use your Union Bank ATM to go and withdraw money from UBA or First Bank, anywhere you are. So you see that we have one bank. And begin to look at it, at our political parties from that angle. Once a particular person cannot get what he thinks he can get from PDP, he joins APC. If he still cannot get it from APC, the Labour Party is there. But something has to be done for an improved democracy, because Opposition is a very wonderful ingredient for an egalitarian society. And with what is happening, once the economic benefit is not coming from where the person has been, before the next election, you see them use it as campaign strategy. Mr. A with his 1,000 supporters are leaving Party A for Party B. And all these things are just for politicking. Not that our system is ideological. It's not, it's so clear about that. I agree with people who say that we are yet to have ideologically based political parties or ideologically based democracy. So, and if we don't get it now, of course, our tomorrow, our democracy for tomorrow, the future is bleak. It remains what it is. And because it's not ideologically based, once somebody is elected, either as the governor or Mr. President or Mr. Chairman of the local government, the person becomes supreme, much more above the political parties. It becomes a one-man's ideology that Mr. President says. Nobody is there again to implement the political party ideology. It's so unfortunate it is like this, Mr. Charles.
I mean, you know, when you paint it this way, it just looks so, you know, helpless. It just looks like nothing is going to happen, you know, anytime soon. When it's a defection that, you know, the ruling party gains, you know, it tends to be celebrated. One would wonder, really, do they even have any role to play when it comes to ideological-based democratic system? And to what extent, you know, is that to play in our system today? Because so many persons have also blamed the ruling party for the way and manner, you know, that they run the affairs of opposition. You know, Atiku had blamed APC and stated that they pay opposition leaders to the tune of 50 million naira monthly, you know, to stay calm or even to control things where they are.
Mr. Charles, let me interject. Let me interject. You know, when I have an issue with somebody, for example, we have been friends over the years, and we've never exchanged hurting words between us. And if by tomorrow I see you, Mr. Charles, tell me this stupid man can sit down, I start from introspection. Have I behaved in a way that caused Mr. Charles to see me as stupid? If the answer is no, that is when I will approach you. That is even when I begin to talk about you. Let me tell you, if you have an ideology you believe in, ideology, what does it mean? Belief. And that should be the guiding principle of people with common ideology, people with similar ideology, or people with ideologies that are close. If somebody has paid you to drop your ideology, do you blame that person? You only wanted money, you never even had an ideology. My interpretation is that you even have the same ideology with that person, but you had to stay the other side for you to attract money. That is my assessment. Ideology is your belief. Somebody needs to convince you without material implications to be able to drop it. Once it is material, I want to tell you that all that has been happening is about political anticipation, selfish political anticipation. What do I anticipate if I stay this way? Let me give you one example. We used to have a man called Okochi in our place, and one prominent politician of pre-independence political practice. This Okochi man and the one Ebelene from our place. Ebelene and his team were of NCNC. The story has it that a time came, they purposely, of course, it may not have been on purpose, This Okocha man belonged to Action Group, of all persons within this Nkanu division. And when Zik came, Okocha had his own influence. We were told that Ebele and team went and told Zik at this hotel presidential that he should look for this, that they should look for this man called Okocha, that he has influence and we want him come to NCNC. Okocha was invited. And then we were told that Okocha simply told Zik, to cut the long story short, if I had not been in Action Group, would you have looked for me? If I had been in NCNC, I would have been so common that you don't look for me. Zik, I don't have anything with you, but I still remain in Action Group. He had an ideology, he had a policy he was following. Can you imagine the kind of hassles, the kind of political hurdles that was placed for the Republican through Trump? Yet they remain steadfast. In Nigeria, if the wind that blew in America in the most recent election had blown in Nigeria, you would have seen all Republicans become Democrats. That is it. I don't want to believe, I don't even want to talk about APC and the way they manage opposition. Then if APC can woo you, you've never been a strong opposition. That's my assessment.
Right. I think it's also in the spirit of these issues that the Constitution tried to, fix that by saying that if you defect, you lose that seat. But then also added a caveat. If your party has an issue, except your party has an issue, if your party have some divisions or issues at the center, then you have the right to basically defect. I mean, don't you think that the Constitution is flawed in that direction? Yeah,
eventually, who made that Constitution? Let me tell you, when I read about that, when I read that portion of our Constitution from day one, of course, I ventured into politics in 2023 before this new position. I had an intention, I had a thing I believe that one man could have started. If you have a family, because political party should be a family, and you are given a proviso that if there is quarrel in your family, instead of staying back to fix it, you can jump from Mr. Nwobodo's family to become Mr. Pius' family member. Don't you see that it's like tying a sprinter on both legs and still want him to do a dash, cover 100 meters in less than 1 minute. Both legs are tied. That is the defect. That proviso shouldn't have been there. It should be that once you defect, because that political party was voted for, you lose that seat. If you have a problem in your political party, you should stay back and fix it. Or you won't be holding any office in the name of that party by the time you defect. That is it. That provision was ab initio by our political allies, by those who drive our process. They created that window so that whoever they wanted, crisis could be created. The same person could even cause the crisis. And every effort to get the crisis resolved, he will still make sure it's not resolved for him to cross carpet. It shouldn't be. And of course, it's just about national assemblies and the state assemblies. What happens to the executive positions? That is it. The executive positions are exempted from that. They are protected. If a governor should defect from a political party, the proper thing should have been that he was not ab initio voted for. The party was voted for, the party logo was there. You drop that position for them. And we now know that you are consciously, because of what you believe in, cross-carpeting. I think that should be the proper thing to do. Otherwise, our democracy won't go anywhere. We won't go further from where we are.
So where do we go from here? I mean, that you think that particular position should be amended to be stiffer? Because right
Yeah,
now,
of course.
everybody can wake up
That
and
is even
sponsor any
yeah,
chaos in the party.
any
and move on.
chaos in the party is for him to go ahead with the benefit that is supposed to be for the party. You make it personal. Does it even show maturity that you have crisis in your party, you didn't stay back to fix it, you are now going into another man's house that he has kept quiet? We are collectively being stupid about that. I'm sorry, I don't have another choice of word, but I don't know how to put it. But all of us are collectively, by that provision, making provisions for such things we are into now. It shouldn't be.
Well, what role do you think political parties should have in things like this? Because again, you would think about the foundation really of our political system. Where did we get it all wrong? Can we sit back and say, you know what, we have to correct this, you know, to the point of making sure that if you are in a particular political party, you will stay true and true. I mean, you're not moving anywhere. I mean, there's a crisis there, you stick to it. And now you have even more options. I mean, there are more than 19 parties.
It might not be like that, but I'm saying once you climb into any political position using a political party's platform, that political party owns that position. If you are cross-carpeting or you are defecting, please drop their benefit for them and cross-carpet. That is what it should be. Or, if you are in party A and you are not holding any position, I think that law should not catch up with you.
Okay,
the party has nothing to lose. If you want to leave, leave. But if a party has worked with you, spent their resources, and then followed you, of course they gave you that platform, you don't own it. You are not a private candidate. And you are now benefiting, they are paying you. They have given you that opportunity, the window to excel. If you are leaving that party, that benefit should be dropped for that party so that they fix it. It is the political parties that won the election. But unfortunately, we have a situation at hand. A situation at hand in the sense that members of political parties are more of hangers-on. A few individuals sponsor the political parties and they see it as their business. People now invest in political parties. Leadership to them is no longer about service. It's about investment. It's about looking for job opportunity. And if you are looking for job, not a window for service to the people, then all you logic by uncle, once you climb the Iroko tree, you see that person fetching as much firewood as he could. That is it. But if we have a political party where everybody is involved through penny funding system, everybody contributes to what we are doing in that party. Whatever extra you must have done must have been something you do, not eyeing any political position. But political participation in Nigeria, especially when you want to become either the House of Rep member, Senate, House of Assembly, up to Mr. President, you see people spending fortune from their private purses. And once they get there, the tendencies to recoup what they have spent becomes topmost. And then now will tell you, after all, I paid off for where I am. You don't even see the political parties having the courage to challenge whatever that person is doing wrongly. And they keep waiting until the person leaves office before the anti-corruption agencies would begin to say, my friend, we've been waiting for you. No, but he had benefited everything. In fact, he has even made enough money to be able to put stumbling blocks against whatever you think the agencies could do. So the way out is to do what you are doing. Let the courts interpret that particular section of the Constitution, preparatory for amendment. Now, once you belong to any political party, and through that platform you have clinched a position, until that era is gone, then you don't have to leave the party. If you leave the party, drop that benefit for that party. Our judicial system is very important in this position. Not when you want to cross carpet, probably your political anticipation for the next dispensation. You are believing you won't get it from that your party. You will sponsor crisis and refuse to get the crisis resolved. Then you will now one day will write to the chairman of the party, blah, 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 I resign. No, it shouldn't be. Resignation while holding political office shouldn't be that easy. It shouldn't be made that easy. Otherwise, our democracy will remain where we are. We haven't grown an inch from the cradle. This is the Fourth Republic, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right?
Yes.
And nothing has changed from the First Republic. Of course, I'm even believing that the First, Second Republic are better republics than this Fourth Republic. But it shouldn't be. We should have been growing.
But you mentioned that we should amend the laws, but it should only affect those who are already in political parties with positions. That if you're not in position, then you can defect anyhow you want. I mean, it doesn't bring to the fore again back to the issues of no ideology.
Let me tell you, nobody is indispensable. Really, nobody is indispensable. But if a political party has worked for a position and occupied that position, do you understand that let the parties not, I'm tempted to use our existing political party's name, but of course let it not be that I am about a certain political parties. But let us use this analogy. Party A, Party B. Party B would have worked with its resources and then win the position of governor. And that governor dumps it, moved from Party B to Party A. That Party A becomes the ruling party of a state he did not win, enjoying the resources invested by Party B. Are we fair? Naturally, we are not fair. Natural justice does not support that. That somebody worked with his influence or their influences, their resources, whatever they could invest in it as Party B, and wins an election and becomes the ruling party of that particular state. A single man will just move from that party without refunding the resources invested in your becoming and take it to Party A. And Party A will begin to enjoy what they did not work for. Shouldn't that be paid for? It should be compensated. So at that particular point in time, that position is inevitable to the party that won it. But the individual who is the flag bearer can drop that flag for the people and move to wherever you want to move.
No, but
down the line, if you are not occupying any position and you are no longer, your movement from that party is not denying that party any benefit they have worked for, you are free to move.
Yeah, but again,
my worry is moving with what a political party has worked for, giving it to a party that didn't work for it.
yeah, but again, when you are in a particular political party, you should have some level of influence. I mean, you must have built a party to a particular point in time. So in forcing people to even have a stench of ideology is by keeping them in one place. That's what the law at least tries to do. So if you say, you know what, if you're not in position, you can do whatever you want. I mean, we're going back to
no. Look at this, Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles, you know, when you look at our constitution, and even by natural justice, you are free to associate with whoever you want to associate with. Freedom of association, that's what we call it. The right to freedom of association. Now, if I'm associating with you, and both of us are working hand in hand to be able to, okay, let us use this Signature TV as an example. Both of us work hand in hand to establish this Signature TV. And this Signature TV started yielding benefits. Then, let me not use you, let me use myself. I will now carry this Signature TV, leaving Mr. Charles behind, taking the Signature TV to Chris Madeke, and tell you go to Blazes. How would you feel? That is too bad. But if I want to leave Signature TV and you are still interested in it, whatever benefits accruing to me from here, you will give it to me, I leave. Or if I'm the person most anxious to leave, I leave the whatever benefit accruing to Signature TV and leave, then go and start what else I want to start. That is the way it is. You have the right to freely associate. You have the right to leave that association. But if there is anything belonging to the association you are leaving, please kindly drop that thing that belongs to that association for that association. Don't take it to that person who didn't work for it.
How do we begin to build ideologies? How do you think our democracy should position in such a way that it is now more of ideological based? Is it going to be done at the political party level? Is it going to be done at the local government level? Like, where do we start from in making our democracy or our system ideological based, so that we don't have all of these, confusion, as the case may be?
Okay, let me tell you, it's so simple. It should be political party based, because it's the political party that produces the leaders of local government, state and federal government. And what is ideology? I could believe in capitalism. Some other person could also believe in communism. Some other person could also believe in socialism. We could have far right and far left. These are options we are placing before the electorates, because we are looking at the people who make choices. So these ideologies we believe in, we now use them to campaign. The choice of what the people want at a particular time is for the electorates. And if the electorates at any point in time believes in capitalism and voted for capitalism, and tomorrow the person who has that flag or who is bearing the flag will now carry that choice of the people to socialism, don't you see it's a disappointment of the people who made that choice? So it should be political party based. As a politician, what are you coming to market to the voters? That should form the basis of we are joining any political party. And when you join that political party, you do whatever you think you can to market it to the people. And if the people chooses that, please consider the people who made that choice. If you are living, drop that choice for the people that will execute that choice. So it should be party-based. But as it is today, all our political parties are one. What is guiding our attention? I think world over, or where things work well, ideology guides the system.
Absolutely.
But in our country, I don't know which one that guides us. It could be our political anticipation, private, personal, I don't know how to describe it. Political anticipation. This is what I anticipate to get. If I get there and the picture is not clearer, I will move from B to A. If the picture becomes more blurred in A, I will jump to C. Of course, in Nigeria, we have seen big politicians who had, in this present time, you won't even know who they are. They were PDP to APC, back to PDP, back to APC. As it is now, some of them might be thinking of a third force, a new political party. Probably the third force is now failing them. The political wind that blew in 2023 might now be dwindling. And that political wind might not, as we speak, might no longer be as strong as it was. And permutations are on now, a third force. God help us. God help us. I'm just being sincere about that. Let our people, let us know what we believe in.
Yeah, you seem so helpless about this.
Yeah,
I
appear helpless because materialism is the spirit that is on now.
Do you think poverty, the level of poverty is also part of it?
No, Mr. Charles, it can't be poverty. Don't bring poverty into it.
Why?
Because, yes, I have seen people who could be considered poor, who would never, ever change their belief for any material benefit. Let me share this example with you. I was quite a young man in 1983. My father was it in 1983? That should be 1979 elections. My father was one of the strong voices in our community. He had his influence at his level in that community. At that point in time, politicians were really campaigning. Nwobodo first came to our place to consult with my father. I said, it's Chief Nwobodo. My father gave him his words. CCO came. My father told him, though a number of persons says that political gifts don't kill, but now, before you came, I had given Nwobodo my support and words. I don't wish you anything evil, but I won't take from you and I won't support you. At that point in time, we were not economically influential. My father had nothing except that once he says yes, go to anywhere, that yes remains yes. There are people like that. So I want to use myself as an example. Find what you believe in. Stand for what you believe in.
In 1979, I think things are a lot better than what we have today. I mean,
that is my surprise, because we are nosediving instead of progressing.
And so that's the reason why somebody would say they will collect 50 million naira, just to kill their own political party. I mean,
it's so unfortunate because they never believed in that political party. Nobody kills what he believes in. That's the point I'm making. Nobody on earth kills what he believes in. We can only kill what we are pretending to believe in. Mr. Charles, I want to tell you, it is a lot easier to wake a man who is actually asleep than trying to wake a man who is pretending to be asleep. If a man is pretending to be asleep, it's much more difficult to wake him. But if somebody is actually asleep and you try to wake him, he wakes up once you start waking him up. That is where we find ourselves. It's so unfortunate it is like this.
It's interesting, really. I mean, I think it's a perfect place to leave it. It is very, very difficult to wake up a man who is pretending to be sleeping, and very easy to wake up somebody who is actually
asleep. That is it.
What a wonderful line. Many thanks, sir, for your time. Thank you for the insight. I truly appreciate you. We understand your correlation is coming up in the month of May, and I'm sure that Single TV in its own strengths would support you in that direction. So maybe after now we'll have the discussion regarding that.
You're on public. The people have heard you.
I mean, yeah, we can support you in different ways. Maybe we might be the one to bring the yam. So that different support that
is the support. That is the support. Thank you.
All right, so that was an amazing discussion with the one and only Royal Majesty. I'm talking about Nwobodo. Chinedu Nwobodo, rather, giving us an insight into defections and the gales of defections and how it affects democracy. Once again, we say a very big thank you to you. Thank you once again.
Save Nature TV. News in your pocket.